Kazakhstan-Uzbekistan cooperation continues to develop intensively. Presidents Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Shavkat Mirziyoyev are set to hold an informal meeting in Almaty today on March 29. They plan to discuss the strengthening of strategic partnership and alliance between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, as well as key regional issues relevant to Central Asia. The agenda also includes visits to several cities, landmarks and an exhibition dedicated to artificial intelligence. It's worth noting that the similar bilateral meeting between the leaders took place in Kyiv in early April last year. Shavkat Mirziyoyev will also chair the first ever European Union Central Asia Summit set to take place next week on April 3rd and 4th in Uzbekistan. European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen are expected to arrive in Samarkand, where they will discuss strengthening cooperation in transport, digital connectivity, strategic raw materials and security. We're bringing to the studio our political expert Ozhet Shegirbayev with his take on the week's key development in Central Asia. Ozhet, great to have you with us.
Hello, Dorian. Thanks for having me.
Ozhet, we know that the EU has already signed enhanced partnership agreements with almost all Central Asian countries except Uzbekistan. Do you think this upcoming summit could mark a turning point in the economic relationship between Tashkent and Brussels?
Well, actually, they have the agreement of 1996. It was called the Agreement on Partnership and Cooperation between Uzbekistan and European Community. But previously, last week, the ambassador of European Union to Uzbekistan pointed out that maybe in the first half of 2025, this agreement will be signed. This new agreement will cover the issues of trade, economic cooperation, investment issue, tax administration, and all other important issues.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the visit of President of Uzbekistan to Kazakhstan, that of course followed the meeting between the two countries' foreign ministers in Kyiv. There's a lot going on across the region and you've been keeping close eye on it all. So Ozhet, tell us more. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Dorian. I'm ready to share my top 5 stories from Central Asia just in a moment. The first meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan was held in Kyiv at March 20, introducing a new dialogue format initiated by the leaders of both countries. Kazakhstan's Foreign Minister, Mr. Murat Nurtlev, emphasized that the two nations are not only brotherly neighbors but also strategic partners moving towards shared prosperity. Economic ties continue to strengthen, with bilateral trade already exceeding $4 billion of USD, aiming for $10 billion of USD. In the industrial sector, 78 joint projects are under development. The next meeting of the foreign ministers is set for August this year in Burabay, Kazakhstan. And additionally, this week, President Tokayev ratified an agreement to establish an industrial cooperation center with Uzbekistan, which is expected to give a new impetus to cooperation in the fields of trade and industry. Overall, considering the dynamics of the visits, one can expect the strengthening of cooperation in areas such as trade and joint business. In 2024, Azerbaijan's direct foreign investments in Uzbekistan's economy reached a record $93 million of USD, 4 times more than in 2023. According to the Central Bank of Azerbaijan, investment volumes grew up by nearly 70 million of USD over the year. As a result, Uzbekistan now accounts for 5.3% of Azerbaijan's total foreign investments. Interestingly, while investments in Uzbekistan surged, Azerbaijan's overall foreign investment volume declined. In 2024, it amounted to 1.76 billion of USD, marking a 43.5% decrease compared to the previous year. And here's another key point. Alongside investments, remittances are also on the rise. In just the first 9 months of 2024, money transfers from Azerbaijan to Uzbekistan reached nearly 4 million of USD, an increase of 45% compared to the same period in 2023. The foundation for Uzbekistan's first nuclear power plant is scheduled to be poured in 2026, with the first reactor set to launch in 2029. The construction of the plant's foundation is planned for the second quarter of 2026. According to Azim Ahmedgadjayev, director of the Agency for Atomic Energy, the project is progressing ahead of schedule, and the final cost will not exceed $2 billion of USD. It has also been announced that the first nuclear reactor is expected to be commissioned in 2029, with the remaining reactors coming online gradually through 2033. In addition, Uzbekistan, together with Russia, has established a joint educational infrastructure for training personnel for nuclear power plants. At the Tashkent branch of MIFI, 300 students will be trained. As a reminder, on May 27 last year, Rosatom and Uzatom signed a contract to build 330 megawatt nuclear power plant in Uzbekistan's Kazakh region. The project includes 6 Ritom-200N reactors with a capacity of 55 megawatts. The state-owned Uzbekistan enterprise Navurian has signed a contract with Kazakhstan's company Logistics Center for the transportation of Uzbek uranium concentrate from the port of St. Petersburg to France. The contract is valued at 9 million of euro. It's equals to 9.7 million of USD. Under the agreement, the Kazakh logistics company must transport 500 containers of uranium material to the Malveshi commune in the southern France by the end of March 2026. The contract stipulates that each shipment must reach its destination within 15 days from the date of departure from the Russian port. President of Kyrgyzstan, Mr. Sadir Japarov, has ratified agreement between the Kyrgyz Republic and the Republic of Tajikistan on the construction and use of highways, which was signed on March 13, 2025 in Bishkek. The document outlines the construction of 2 neutral status highways, Dacha-Kapchigai, which will bypass the eastern part of the Kapchigai settlement and will be used by Tajikistan, and Minoruk-Samarkandek, which will bypass the northern part of the Surkh village and will be used by Kyrgyzstan. Additionally, the agreement provides for the joint development and equal use of the Osh-Razakov and Isfara-Varuh road intersection, which will also receive neutral status. Overall, this initiative marks a significant step toward restoring trade and logistics ties between the two countries, against the backdrop of ongoing efforts to resolve border disputes. Firstly, the project aims to ease tensions in border areas where disputes over road access and transportation routes have previously arisen. The establishment of neutral highways and a shared intersection demonstrate both nations' commitment to compromise and pragmatic cooperation. And secondly, improving road infrastructure will have a positive effect on economic relations, ensuring uninterrupted movement of goods, services and people, a particularly relevant factor in the context of regional integration and trade development. That's all from my part, Dorian. Giving the floor back to you.
Thank you very much, Ojed, for this detailed review.